Hey, real quick before we get into this video, next week we've got our first PRB02 triple win a box tournament. It's going to be on Tuesday, October 7th. The signups go live today, pretty much just as this video goes out. So check out the link in the description and enjoy the video. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and the PRB2 set for the One Piece card game is releasing this week, and I'm really excited to test out all of the new cards that we get from this set as well. And as part of that, I wanted to drop just a couple deck lists, only like 20 of them, for all of these new cards that we're getting, right? We're only getting 18 new cards, but so many of them are good. They've got so many different applications, and it's been really cool to see not only testing like newer decks, but a lot of them are support for older decks as well. So if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We make a lot of content for the One Piece card game, and I don't want you guys to miss it. If you guys want to look at any of the deck lists we're looking at today, you can find them on my website, Eggman Events, in the team deck list. And then also a lot of these are more just kind of theory crafting. I won't say that all of these are like 100% complete, but these are just really good starting points for anyone who's interested in trying these new decks, especially with these new cards that we got again from PRB2. So if you guys want to check out the cards too, they are going to be on my deck builder on Eggman Events 2. We're going to go by color of the, not necessarily the leader because there are multicolor leaders, but kind of color of the support. So we're going to go from red all the way down to yellow. You can find it linked in the description too if you want to see the timestamps. And honestly, these are not the only decks that are getting buffed by some of these new cards. These are just the ones that I was, my favorite 20 going into this too. There's definitely a lot we could also, change cards with as well. So don't think that these are the only decks that you get some kind of boost from these new cards as well. So lastly, thank you to Strongest Wizard. He contributed a couple deck lists with these as well. He's pretty passionate about playing Smoker as well as the Pudding deck, which is also part of Wednesday Night One Piece this week as well. So starting off with the red cards, we're going to start off with Strongest Wizard's Smoker deck. And this leader's been so interesting to me, right? It's got like such an insane effect, right? Getting 2 Dawn back pretty much every turn for the rest of the game, like being essentially a 12 Dawn leader is so strong, right? It's such a strong ability. It means that you can have like 2 Dawn open very easily for defense. It means that you can hit a little bit harder. We also just have like some insane cards the last couple of weeks of like the Mihawk as well as like the Smoker from release, right? You just get to get so much Dawn back from being able to use all of these effects, which I think is really insane. So he's been playing this deck quite a bit too, and he's played it in previous formats. You also get like the benefit from OP12 with Perona being able to find any of your slash cards, which not only includes the Mihawk, but the new card that we're excited about is the Trafalgar Law. This card's actually pretty nuts, right? So it is a Punk Hazard card, 7 Warlords of the Sea, and a Heart Pirate card. So being able to use all of these cards, they're like just a lot of okay traits for that. The fact that it's also Punk Hazard means that Virgo is able to search it, which I think is insane. And it's also slash type, so that means Perona can find it as well. And then it has this once per turn, this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect. You may give this character minus 2k power during this turn instead. And again, since this is a Punk Hazard card with the Smoker leader, this becomes an 8k on defense. So then it goes from 8k to 6k, which is a big difference too. So and then also has this great when attacking, so give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 2k power during this turn. So that means that like if you're attacking with this card, you can essentially attack 9k into a character if you want to think of it that way. And this has like a great amount of like flexibility for this deck. So really great card for this deck and many others. We also do have the Kobe, which this card, if your leader is Navy type, this gains plus 1k power on defense, and then also plus another it's for the Smoker, it's any of your characters with Navy or Punk. So on defense, this becomes a 7k body on your opponent's turn with Smoker, which is kind of insane too, being able to get such a tricky to remove, at least by battle card in these scenarios. But when attacking, KO to one of your opponent's characters with 3k power base or less, then if you have 6 or less cards in hand, you get to draw 1. So honestly, just great abilities, right? It's also Navy, so if you want to use instead of the Virgo, you want to use your Navy Searcher instead, you can do that too. But I think that the Kobe is still really good. Like Navy, we get able to find like the Smoker as well as the Toshigi a little bit easier, right? It just kind of depends on what your searchers you want to be versus Virgo or Kujaku there. So this is still like a really flexible deck that you can do some unique deck building with. I think that Smoker has a lot of tools, and like this set really bumped it up a little bit, and I kind of expected to see a little bit of play. So there it is. And then kind of moving through it, some of these decks, I'm gonna be honest, they are more theory. I wouldn't say that these are 50 for 50, and Kobe's definitely one of the leaders where I'm like, there's definitely reasons to play and test this deck, right? Again, like the Kobe for this deck is amazing, especially since you can attack the turn you play it because it does have the sword type. We also did get like the promo recently for North America, being able to make your leader 7k from attacking is great. And then also the Trafalgar Law, right? Being able to use this to, even like if it's just like a 6-drop body, like obviously Helmeppo is kind of better on curve, but just playing this card out and just being like they can't remove it, and then they can't remove anything really with your Kobe effect too. It's just like a really like another solid body that you're able to put on the board. So I don't know if Kobe is like relevant enough. I don't know. I know it didn't really do anything in Asia during their PRB02 set. But that's also because like their meta was a little bit different. So we'll see if Kobe gets to be a little bit relevant. But I know a lot of people have been testing this as well. And then lastly, Shanks. I again, like the Slaw card's just really, really good. We also did get like the Lucky Roo. This also is just generic, right? The fact that it is a red hair pirates means that you put it in Shanks for sure. But also it's just any red deck can play this, right? So if you're playing anything like more defensive, on play trash 1 character card with power of 2 or 6k power or more from your hand to draw 2 cards. I think that's really good. I didn't make a deck list for it, but I think that red and purple Uta is able to play this card too, because it's a red hair pirates, and you play the 1-drop Uta that searches for red hair pirates, and then you can like get some cycle and draw 1 is really, really nice for this one. So like that can help you out in a lot of these scenarios too. So generally those Shanks, we know that this deck's been really good. I think this is, helps it a lot. Again, Law on curve is so good. The fact that we have a card that just is really tough to remove is fantastic. The biggest issue is that this deck can't search it inherently, but luckily Lucky Roo can help you draw into it. But then like playing Trafalgar Law and sitting on it, and then on 8 playing Silver's Rayleigh, you get rid of an 8k body essentially, which is just absurd, right? With also being able to establish a body and the attack and just everything else. It's really, really, really strong. So I think that Shanks got a bit of a boost with these cards too. I don't know if it's going to be relevant. It still has a really tough matchup into specifically blue purple Luffy, which is still running around, but here is the build here for Shanks. So that's it for red, and then we're going to go over to green. Green kind of got, if I'm being honest, like one of the weaker card pools I think from these 18. Like the Bonnie is nice, being able to use this to just be a blocker that also lets you set a Dawn up active at the end of the turn is nice too. I don't know if it's better than Urush. I'm going to be honest though. I don't know if like, sure, you can play this on 3, but is Urush just like better? I don't know. Like you can play it with, if you're playing 8-drop kid, you probably play the Bonnie instead of the Urush, since you can play it off your 8-drop kid effect, and then you can get the Dawn open at the end of turn. So if you're at 9 Dawn, weirdly, you can attach a Dawn and get that bonus. So it's probably fine, right? We also did get the Zoro, which we're going to look at in some other builds too, but this card's just fine. It is a supernova, so it's a searchable 2k. It's like an okay blocker. It has like this weird thing where like most of the time when you're at the end of your turn, if this character would be rested by your opponent's effect, you can rest one of your other characters instead. It's just like a weird thing, because usually all of your cards are active are also blockers, right? So like you'd be resting another blocker, but it's a 2k that's searchable, right? And then helpful for the deck, so it's fine. You can't play it off kid, which is kind of upsetting, but you can do like Mihawk into Zoro too, so that can be really helpful. But we know that Bonnie's been really popular in this format. I think people will be probably experimenting with these cards, but they're not something that's going to be like an immediate kickstart to Bonnie or making it better. They're just pretty good cards in that way. So, but being able to do this also is generic, right? So if there's other decks that aren't this deck that needs the Dawn open, that could be helpful too, but just an interesting add there. The next up, you've got Zoro, and again, we're pretty good. I'm also like, I'm a big fan of the East Blue type version, which this is. If this is an East Blue tag, I think you definitely would put in this deck, but it's Zoro, right? We don't really change anything. You guys know what the deck looks like. I'm not going to spend time on here, but there it is. And then also green purple Luffy. This deck got like a weird amount of support. Still, it's just generically like green and purple straw hat cards are just continue to be printed, and this deck's like, cool, can I add this? Can I add this? What are the cards that I'm adding for it? So 2-drop Nami, I know this is a purple card. We're going to look at this more in the future of this video too, but being able to just look top 5 for a straw hat crew type card other than Nami, which is great because it's like Giants a type. It's not like if it only look characters, it's fine, but just like another searcher, it means that we don't have to play this card as much, and it's a searcher with your 1k that also triggers off of life to play a body and also look top 5 for more things. So all of that is just like really, really good for your consistency. I'm putting 2 of the Zoro in the deck just because, well, why not? There are some scenarios where like either Sanji's like generally better because purple Zoro can find it, but like it's still a 2k straw hat card that you can put 2 copies in if you want to. There's also this 4-drop Luffy that the wording for this card is so weird. I don't know where it goes. I don't know why. I don't know kind of why this card exists. It's like really only good on curve, but it says your turn on play if your leader is multicolored and your opponent has 7 or less Dawn on their field. Your opponent rests one of their active Dawn cards at the start of their next main phase. So it's really interesting. So you can play it like on curve, and like I think you put it in this deck because it's very easy for you to have like 4 Dawn left open after like using your leader effect and stuff. But it's a really weird one. It's being able to like prevent your opponent from like playing cards on curve is really nice. It's weird that where it is too. I also I need to get like extra clarification. So if your leader is multicolored and your opponent's 7 or less Dawn on their field, so it's on your play. So it doesn't matter if they're at 7, right? It's not like if they go 7 to 9, they're like I'm at 9 Dawn. I think if you just play this on curve there, so it could be good, right? Worst case, it's a 1K Straw Hat card that's searchable, right? I know people have been playing like 4-drop Zorager. If you want to play that, that's fine. But this is, if you want to play some of the new green cards, this is a deck that you can do so. So I don't know. It's an interesting one, but there it is there. And then moving on to blue, we've got Don Quixote do Flamingo. We got one new card. It's the Jinbei here, and I think this is an interesting one. So on play, look top 5, reveal 1/7 Warlords of the Sea other than Jinbei, add it to your hand, place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. I do wish that it let you choose if you want to put it on the top or the bottom, because that obviously helps with your leader effect, but that's fine. And then when attacking, place up to 1 character the cost of 1 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. So this can also work for Boa as well. I don't have a Boa deck built for this one today, but that can be helpful for bottom decking your own 1-drop cards, which means you get the extra draw from Boa to just keep your card draw and consistency up there too. But I know people have been kind of testing playing Doflamingo again, right? Against stuff like Silver's Rayleigh, like you get a lot of interaction still with Trafalgar Law. It is like, I think the deck is still fine. I know like you definitely miss out on Jinbei and everything else, but there are some like cool little adds too. Like Slave Arrow is like a 7 Warlords card that's been used against Zoro specifically, which you can still use in this deck, which is really nice. Perfume Femur as well. And just kind of like, it's generally good. If you guys have like Dofi, nothing's really, you could have played it a little bit in this format, but having like just like a card that draws another card off your deck can be good enough there. So that can be really handy. So there it is. And then this is like a pile of cards. Don't look at this and be like, oh, this is a 50. I'm going to buy all the cards. I'm going to sleeve this up. I'm going to win my locals. This is completely theory craft. But the biggest thing for this card is that it says when attacking, you place 1 character with a cost of 1 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. What if we use cost reduction to make that a 4 or less or whatever? So I think the card is neat. The fact that it also draws a card, right? It's like the same as like Kuzan, right? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to use Jinbei to look top 5 and draw, and then like you have cost reduction, or the other thing, Kuzan, you play out and then you have like removal that you use with their cost reduction, right? So you can kind of go both ways. I think 6-drop Boa has been really, really good in Sakazuki. I've been really liking this card. The fact that you can kind of go 2 for 1 is really good. We also have like 7-drop Dofi. If you like 9-drop Mihawk, you can play that too. But it's just like an interesting card that lets you just like draw another card and keep your hand size kind of healthy while also being a 1K and like being able to set up plays. So like I think that's gonna be helpful. So we're playing like 3 Hinas, which you can use to like get cost reduction, right? So for example, you play this out and then next turn you play out Hina, give -4 to something, and then Jinbei can get the removal, right? So I think that's pretty clear. It can be really, really strong there as well. But we'll see if Sakazuki ends up being relevant with this package. I think it's a little bit it's tough to fit all the things for it. It's just like Sengoku is a Navy type character, but it looks for a 7 Warlords of the Sea card, which is really nice. This Teach might be bad, but it also like returns a 3 or less to hand, which can be upscaled pretty easily to higher cost cards too. And I think it's interesting. I want to see if Sakazuki can do well with like kind of the 7 Warlords package, but it's hard to say. But if this Jinbei, definitely, as much as this is supposed to be like a Boa and Doflamingo card, I saw this card and I'm like, man, what if Sakazuki used this? That could be very strong. So I don't know. Here's the deck for Sakazuki here. All right, next up we've got Ace and Newgate. So we did get a really, really good 4-drop Marco. And okay, I don't know. I feel like I'm going crazy here. I know that this card is former Whitebeard Pirates, right? And I'm like, oh, that's too bad because, a lot of the effects that you'd want to use with it need specifically a Whitebeard Pirates type character. But I went back and then I'm like, this is saying including Whitebeard Pirates. This effect says including Whitebeard Pirates. So I don't I don't remember which interaction doesn't work anymore. I'm like, I feel like I'm going crazy because I'm looking through all the cards that interact with it. I'm like, yeah, it works with this, it works with this. So maybe I was just wrong and I gave out some bad advice in the past. So if that's the truth, I do apologize for that. But having former Whitebeard Pirates is essentially the same as being Whitebeard Pirates for most of the effects, at least the relevant ones, including 5-drop Ace, right? So play up to 1 character card off the top of your deck with Whitebeard Pirates and a cost of 4 or less. A type including Whitebeard Pirates, so that can be really handy. So especially with this deck, you can go Odd Curve very easily, play Ace on 5 to play Marco that you put on the top of your deck with Ace and Newgate, and then you can kind of go off the races, right? You played 2 6k bodies. This card, if they KO it, you get to draw 2, and it's also a blocker in case they're trying to hit you down. It's just really good. It's just a great effect that you get a lot of mileage from. So I think that this deck gets a lot of boost from it. Obviously this card is going to be generically good in a lot of other decks, including another Whitebeard Pirates deck, the Marco Leader, which this also is a bit of a pile of cards, I'm going to be honest with it, but and it's a little bit trickier to use this 5-drop Ace in this deck because you have to essentially be at 6 Dawn instead of 5 Dawn or more, right? The fact that you have to like put 1 on your leader, use the effect to put like Marco on the top, and then you can use that. It's fine, but it's not obviously as good. But there are some times where, for example, if you're at 3, you can use Deval. You can look at the top 3, and if there is a 4-drop Whitebeard Pirates on the top, you can sequence it for then you can just play Ace outright, and you get the effect there. So there's some benefits for it, and I think that's helpful. We're still playing the Emporio package because I just don't know what to build with this deck anymore. There's also the Mr. 3. This is a new card from the set. It's for Buggy. I don't have a Buggy deck built because I felt like it was really cookie cutter. You guys should play this card in Buggy though, but being able to use this card and say, if this effect can be activated when this character is rested by your opponent's effect, you can trash this character to draw 2. So the fact that it's just like a 2-cost blocker is really good for Emporio. And then if they try to rest it by using an effect like Tashigi or something like that, you can like get the draw 2, which is really handy with this deck. So we have a lot of cycle, but now we've got a lot of additional card draw, which is nice. Being able to like get the Emporio, and we have the Jozu, and then again, this card's just really good. I don't know who needs to hear this, but like there are sometimes you just play this on curve, your opponent just can't remove it, and then it sets up like a really good Whitebeard play, really good Silver's Rayleigh play, and it's just a 1k counter. Like, so even if it's stuck in your hand, you really don't care. You can just counter it away. So I think Marco has like a bit of a chance with some of these new tools that we got. I thought it was really interesting to see some deck building, and I'll probably play some games with this in the next couple weeks too. So here's the build for Marco as well. So that's it for blue, and we're going to move on to purple. So again, this card is just, I don't know why they printed this card. They did not need to give like purple Straw Hats another searcher that also lets you find Gum Gum Giant, right? Like it's absurd how many cards find Gum Gum Giant in this game right now. Like we've got Zorajuro, we've got Nami, Trafalgar Law can't find it, so we're good on that regard. But honestly, any purple Straw Hat character deck got boosted because this card now exists, and the fact that again, like Law was fine, but like it didn't find as many things. Nami can just find anything other than Nami, which is a good amount of your deck, and you can also play like the O Nami in this deck if you want like another blocker as well. But I do think that this deck is like I haven't seen as many purple black Luffy lists, so I'm going to put this one out. We also do have like the 6-drop Nico Robin. This is from OP12. This card's just really neat being able to play it. Like you have this weird thing where you have these 6-drop Luffys that you get to ramp to, but then you don't get their full effects the turn that you play them. So instead of being able to play like Nico Robin, make your opponent like discard 2, and then like being able to go into these on the next turn can be really handy. You want to go on the odd curve from this deck. So on 3, you either play your Black Maria, you play your Nico Robin, or you play your Zoro. All of these cards will let you go from 3 to 4, and then you start the turn at 6, and you play Nico Robin, and you make them upset. So that does mean like you don't really get a turn to play 2-drop Nami as easily, so that can be a bit trickier. Though, like if you play like Zoro, you get to add 1 card active, and then you get to add 1 card active with leader effect, so that helps you there. I think Nico Robin lets you do the same thing, so being able to do both, you get 2 Dawn open, so then Nami, there it is. So I think this deck can have some potential for being a little bit more consistent here. We're playing 7-drop Sanji and also 9-drop Luffy because those cards are good, and then like obviously 6-drop Luffy is like a really good ender for it. So I think this deck got like a little bit of a boost, right? You need that consistency. I don't think it's anything crazy right now, but it's definitely one of my I love this card so much. I think this card is really cool, and any deck that can run it is definitely I've got my eye on. So there it is. You also got purple Katakuri, and I know a lot of people are really excited for this deck mostly because of the 7-drop Charlotte Pudding, right? On play, Dawn -2. If your leader has Big Mom Pirates type and your opponent has 6 or more Dawn on their field, draw 2. Then you play up to 1 Big Mom Pirates type character with a power of 6 to 8k from your hand. So this build is more experimental, but I'm honestly really excited to test it out and do some testing with it. The biggest thing that I have, I think, that I don't see other people playing is the Sanji Pudding. This is a Big Mom Pirates type card, so there are some scenarios where, for example, let's say I think generally you want to be on the odd curve for this deck, because you can do your like when you've got your 1-drop searchers and stuff, like your 3-drop is like Pudding if you have it, but you get to play this out for 5. Generally speaking, you likely won't have the Dawn advantage, but it also, if you end up going second, what you can do is that you can use like the Dawn -1 from this effect. Then you're at 5, your opponent's at 5, and then you play Sanji and Pudding out, and then you get to draw 1. But then also, like, if you use the Dawn -2 from this Charlotte Pudding, you're able to draw 2, play a Big Mom Pirates card with power of 6 to 8k, which can then include this card, which then you'll get to play. If you Dawn -2, you're almost always going to be less Dawn than your opponent. So it turns into a draw 3, play a 5k, 7k, which I think it just seems good. It just seems good. I'm going to be honest. I think that's a really great effect. And more people need to kind of be in tune with like how strong that could be. So we are also playing like Charlotte Paraspera, like 2 copies. Like this is the same thing as like Sanji and Pudding at times, but it's a little bit more work. Like you have to like attack your opponent and then like you Dawn minus. So if you want to do like a 3-3 split between these two, that's fine too. But like, yeah, if you play this on curve and then you play Charlotte Pudding afterwards, you get your Dawn back. You get to play 8-drop Katakuri. Like you just pretty much get to ramp back to 9, which is really, really good, right? 1 Dawn back from Sanji Pudding, 1 Dawn back from Charlotte Katakuri, and then you get to on 9 play Kaido, which this card's also really good on curve. Being able to play it at 9, you Dawn -5, so if you still have this card out, you get to get a Dawn back again, and then you get a Dawn back from Katakuri, and then you're just like chilling, I think, a lot of the time. So lastly, we've got Charlotte Smoothie. This is a promo. It's just a card that works with the deck, and also there were just some like weird times where like, well, I'll play out the 7k body, and then if I need to, you know, they don't want to KO this card, because if they do, I get to play out another body, which can include Charlotte Pudding, which can include Katakuri. Like there's so many like cards you can play off this that are strong if they KO this. So it's just, I think, a solid card too. So this definitely is a little bit more theory craft, but I think there's a lot of power from how this deck can operate, and it's I definitely want to do some testing with it. So here's the build there. And then this build is also from Sos, kind of also using the Charlotte Pudding. You do have to be careful with this build because you do ramp inherently, and Charlotte Pudding, you do have to have your opponent has to have 6 or more Dawn cards on their field, right? So you have to be careful that there are times where you could be at 7, but your opponent's at 5, and Charlotte Pudding's just a 7-drop 5k, which it's not great when you don't get the effect from it. But you do get some additional targets from this deck from the yellow side, so you do get to play 8-drop Katakuri, which is absurd to play off of a body here. So not only do you get to kind of ramp cheat it out, but being able to play it out and get a removal, which is really strong. Charlotte Linlin also is like a really good card for us too, being able to use this card to trash our gain a life. And then there's also Charlotte Katakuri. This lets you just play any card, so not, obviously 8-drop is really, really good for this, but you can also play this other 8-drop with it, which can be fantastic. So 10-drop Big Mom, strong card, but only playing 3, which I think is fine. When we get like the draw 2 from this is actually probably one of the biggest pieces for this deck, and you get a lot of consistency from it too. So a pretty good build here, and this is a build from Sos for Charlotte Pudding. And again, I think this card is going to spark a lot of people to try out the deck a little bit more, which is really cool. So and then the other kind of purple cards, I think purple got a lot of great cards as well. The one is the 5-drop Doflamingo. This card is generically absurd in a lot of decks. So blocker on play if your leader's multicolored, up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as rested. So what that means you get to do is you get to go from 5 to 6, and then you get to play this on the next turn. Absurd, right? Or you can go play this on 8, and then you Dawn -1, you get the Dawn back from Doflamingo, and then you get to go from there. So all of that is just really, really good. They're just great effects to go from there. Obviously, Rosinante has been like a really good 5-drop to play off of Doflamingo, but having like a backup 5-drop I think is good enough. I've been trying to play this build, and I think this is like a really ratio dependent deck too. So we're not, I wouldn't say this is the perfect build for it, but I do have like a little bit of aspirations that this deck can be kind of relevant in this meta, right? You also get a lot of great green cards. Mihawk is fantastic, especially Mihawk with Spiderweb, when we also just get to have 2 Dawn plus open at the end of every turn, it can just get some really good interactions. And there are just a lot of strong event cards that green and purple have that it's kind of impossible to play around all of them. So I think this deck is kind of good, and it's also it's from OPO4, so it rotates out pretty soon. So if you haven't tested this deck out, you kind of got to do it quickly. So there it is. All right, and then blue purple Luffy. We've already talked about how good like the Doflamingo package can be in this deck in previous videos, and it's done well in tournaments and stuff. So why not just put the cards in it that are already just good cards? So like 8-drop Dofi, obviously power play 9-drop Sanji into 8-drop Dofi into Rosen or to other Dofi, right? We have enough Doflamingo stuff that I think you can play a couple of copies of the Searcher Sugar, which can also find God Thread, which can also find Monet, which is a 2K that you could play off your Doflamingo, right? Like all just like okay stuff, right? There's also like 3-drop Doflamingo, which you can use to help set up your top 5, and if the 5 that you see are not going to be good for like your next turn, you can just do something else, right? Like there's just so many kind of good plays you get to do from this. Since we're playing 3 Rosinante, we're also playing 2 copies of White Snake because it's really easy to keep 2 Dawn plus open in this deck when you do so, and I think that can be really strong. So obviously this deck's good. It didn't need like a different build, but I know a lot of people are going to be testing out the Doflamingo package more because this card exists, and it's so generic. You can just go odd curve. You say, all right, I play Dofi on 5, I go to 6, next turn I go to 8, Doflamingo, play out Rosinante, keep 2 open, I get to get a Dawn back by them attacking by using your honor opponent's attack. Like just great cards, and like a lot of decks can take advantage of this Doflamingo package too. But here is the build there for blue and purple Luffy. And then moving on, we've got a couple of black decks. We've got Gecko Moria, who got a replacement Moria, maybe. It's a 6-drop Gecko Moria on play if your leader has Thriller Bark Pirates. So this could also be used in Perona. I don't have a Perona deck right now because I just didn't find one that was good, but you can play a cost of 4 less from your trash rested, then give a Dawn to your leader, one of your characters. This also means that you could play out Ryuma, which means that, again, like Perona could be really, really strong with this card, and I think that's something that's worth testing as well. But then I'm playing like kind of like a weird value version of this deck. We're also playing 4-drop Moria from OPO9. So on play up to 1 Thriller Bark Pirates type character with cost of 2 or less from your trash rested. So if you're keeping track, that means you can play 6-drop Moria to play 4-drop Moria to play out any of these 2-drops. This can be a Nupe. We get to draw 2, trash 2, which can fix your hand. We also have Cerberus, which is another blocker. And the kind of idea for this deck, so what? This gets played rested and this gets played rested. They're just cards that your opponent has to like interact with because you just got so much cards, and if they get rid of the Anupe, you get like more draws, right? So they just kind of have to respect this card. And I think like in general too, like our highest cost card is like 6 Dawn. Sometimes like putting 2 Dawn in a Nupe can get you a lot of value as well. So the other new card that we've got for us is the Sabo. So I don't really know what the best deck to put this in. I'm going to be honest. Like, it's a generically good card. It reminds me of like the 2K Sanji as well. That's also a blocker. If you have 15 or more cards in your trash, give this card in your hand -3 cost. It's Dressrosa and Revolution Army, which also means that you can use it with the Rebecca. So it's within your hand, right? So for example, you play Rebecca, you can get this back from your trash, and then you can play it from your hand rested because it's going to be a 3 cost in your hand if you have the 15 or more. So playing a blocker that plays at a 6K, that's going to be a blocker if they don't interact with it immediately, is really, really good, especially like in this deck where our highest cost effect is like a 6. So we can place Gecko Moria to play out a 2-drop. Like if we have no cards if our board is completely clear at 10 Dawn, if we have a Moria and Rebecca, we can play out a 6-drop Moria, we can play out a 4-drop Moria, we can play out a 2-drop Cerberus, and then we can play out Rebecca that draws us a card and then plays out a Sabo rested. Like we can put like 5 cards on the board for having like 2 generic cards, which just seems really good. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I think that's just such a good way to set up like your plays. It's fantastic. Also, Rebecca being able to get like Moria from us if we like trash it earlier off of like a Nupe or something. I think like it's just really good. So we'll see if this is good. I'm going to probably do some testing with this one too, but it has like a lot of great identifications for it too. So the only issue is like, yeah, you can't like you have to like hard play Hog back to then play Moria to then play but you can do some of the weird things where you can play Gecko Moria to get Hog back to then get another Gecko Moria for next turn, and you just kind of go infinite a little bit with those kind of combos too, which I think is really strong. So we'll see what this deck looks like. We'll see if it gets to be viable at all, but there's some really cool stuff you get to do with it. So next up, Teach. I'm going to be very quick about this one. Teach is a good deck. Ooh, Ooh, scary. Who knew? We got like they just keep printing like this incremental support for it. The new card is Shiryu here. It's a decent blocker, right? Being able to KO something with base cost 4 or less, right? It's just pretty much like a Lucky Roo for the deck that also makes this an 8 cost blocker that you play on 4. So it's fine. It's a good card, right? I think like also I put this card in just to show that you could play it in this deck. Teach is kind of like unironically probably one of the best decks to get to 15 cards in the trash in quickly. So being able to play Sabo out for 3, it means that you can play 7-drop Teach and Sabo in the same turn at 10, which can't be bad, right? Those are like some good combinations for it. It's also 2K. If you like Caribou more, just play 4 Caribou, but I thought it was fine. I thought it was a decent card to put in the deck to also have some room open for some stuff. So also, if you're thinking of that, we could also play like Black Vortex as well, but you guys know Cheech is good, so here's the deck here. And then we've got 3 more decks. We've got, or actually we only got 2 more decks. We've got the Monkey D. Luffy and the Nami here, both yellow decks. Both these decks are just some of my favorites, and this is probably going to be one of the most like generic builds for this deck that you guys have probably ever seen. There's so much room for tech options, and it's kind of weird where if you're playing all 3 boys, and we're playing, as you can see, 6 copies of each of the 5 drops and 4 copies of each of the 2 drops, you run out of deck space really quickly, right? Like there's so many just generic cards that you kind of have to run that you don't really have room for tech options. I'm playing 4 copies of Kuzan because Zeus Kuzan is like one of the best clears in the game. It also lets you go down to 2, get down into life a little bit easier. Obviously, we're playing the Rocket Luffy as well. So I think this is like, again, this is a very techless version of the deck. But if you are trying to relearn how this deck works, this is probably the best way to start, I think. And then you can kind of adapt from there. Also, 5-drop Ace is fantastic. This is also potentially really good in blue and yellow Ace. I haven't been able to do any testing with it, but being able to use this card to play a 2-drop in your hand or trash when you have a face-up life card is very good when you're also playing a deck that actively puts the card face up in your life as well with the blue yellow Ace. And it's a Whitebeard Pirates, and there's a lot of good Whitebeard Pirates cards that have kind of shown up for blue that blue yellow Ace can kind of take advantage of. So I honestly don't have a build that I like right now for blue yellow Ace, but if that changes, I'll make sure to post it as well. But again, a card that plays a card that then you can use to play off your leader. It just, this card just like immensely helps you with the 5, like making you a 7-cost leader more consistently with blue yellow Ace, which is really good. So here's the deck here for black yellow Luffy, and again, I think a lot of people are going to be testing this in the next couple weeks. And then lastly, Nami, probably my favorite deck to deck build with. Blue yellow has a lot of unique cards, and like the interactions with this leader, it's like such a generic leader that you get to do so much with. This is simply one build. There's dozens of builds of Nami that I think exist right now, and this is running more of like the Wano package, right? Marco is also a Land of Wano card, so we can use it with Yamato to find it, which is great. We also have like Kikunojo, which is fine from there, which you can put with Hiyori into there. We have Momo, right? Like there's just so many good cards, right? Especially since Nami is such like a hand advantage kind of deck too. Draw 2 off Marco on KO is absurdly good as well. So we also do have the Otama. This is just like another great card to play. You can give one of your leaders a character's plus 3k power during this turn. So you can do something like you can play Otama for 2, use the effect to give Odin plus 3k power. You get to draw a card off Nami's effect because you lost a life, and then you can bounce this back to your hand with Odin, and then you can attack again twice with 11k, and you only used 5 Dawn to do so, which is really good. So then you still have Dawn open to play like a Marco blocker, and then put a Dawn underneath your leader to be able to get your leader effect again. So all of that is just really good. I think there's like a lot of great abilities you get to do with that, and this deck is going to be, I think, seeing a good amount of play. Even if it's not like incredibly viable, I think there are some ways to play it and get a lot of success with it as well. So here's the build for Nami, and that's going to be it for this one. Again, we've got a lot of decks, and again, I feel like I've like barely scratched the surface of the decks that can be viable right now. These are not the only ones, and these are not the only ways to build them, but I've been having a lot of fun theory crafting, and I hope you guys have been enjoying me ramble about some of my favorite decks in this game right now. So that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and we'll catch you all next time.
Damn it. Damn it.